Peaceful, calm,
hopelessness.
Hope amongst the brokenness.
Very chaotic, very painful.
His love for us.
Downward spiral.
My name is Bruno Capolongo. I'm a Canadian artist living in Niagara, Ontario. I've been an artist all my life, and I love what I do. Decline has to be seen in context of about a 2 or 3 year period. I was doing my master's program, finding myself working on paintings, but thinking of something entirely unrelated every day, thinking about things that concern me in society, the direction of our culture, and none of this was showing up in my work. So I was doing a lot of research in libraries, going through magazines, literally cutting out and buying magazines, cutting out things, photocopying things. So there's a gathering of hundreds and hundreds of images. The time spent literally in all these pages and these books and magazines was what resulted not just in Decline, but many other works, some of them very large. That's already a large piece of work, but some of them were much larger. And for 24 months nonstop, it was a very intense program. I dealt full frontal head-on with the things that sort of haunted me and I think haunt our culture.
My first response was, it almost sent me into a downward spiral of hopelessness almost. I'm looking at all the headlines, all the looks like magazine covers or articles clipped out of newspapers, and it was heartbreaking.
It still draws my attention is the look of love that picture of Jesus has for us. And the outside parameters don't seem to want to register with me, even though I know that is part of our environment nowadays.
It was a very profound, peaceful sadness is what I felt with it. And I felt like everything was swirling around him in this chaos, but he had this steadfast sadness.
There's this image of Jesus, right? And he's just completely surrounded by, divorce and hate and brokenness. And it was like he's all there in the midst of all of it, but not demanding, right? It's just like this powerful presence, right? Because the image of Jesus as like this rock, right? It was like stone, but it wasn't cold.
There are puzzle shapes, pieces that make up the larger image, over which is superimposed the face of Christ. So the face of Christ was taken from a sculpture called Ecce Homo, or Here's the Man. So this is Christ bound, being presented to the people. In the background, of course, are various examples of these social ills. What I was trying to distill in the work is sort of balancing out. It's not necessarily just a presentation, a simple this equals that. Not at all. It's really putting out the questions. What is the role of the church? If in this case, if Christ is bound, why? Is it we ourselves as a culture, individuals? Is it the greater secular culture just actively rejecting it, even in light of a healthy Christian community, which has happened over the centuries? It's not meant to be so entirely didactic and simple. It's really, I think, an indicator of the struggle to understand the role of the church. Is the church not standing up as it should?
as I focused in on that image in the middle, I interpreted that to be Jesus. And for me, that journey kind of went from, okay, that's Jesus. Wow, all this weight is on his shoulders.
So I shifted from the sadness to the steadfastness. That would be the word I think I would land on. So just a sense of peace in calamity.
It centered me again. I think that'll be another word to use. It just centered me back on Jesus.
I just wish everybody would feel what I feel when I look at that picture.
I don't know how other people look at that. I mean, when I did the piece, I remember some people's response was, "This is propagandistic. This is very didactic." I accept that, especially for people who disagree with the maybe the worldview behind it. But just to have people stop and think and look and question their own worldview, or to just have them reconsider some of the issues presented in that and other related pieces. I think I'd be happy with that.